Yes, sir. You got it. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to call to order the March 5th, 2026 meeting of the Mesilla Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization Technical Advisory Committee. I am your chair, Michael Garza from the Doña County Flood Commission. We'll start with a roll call for the rest of the panel, starting on my left.
Harold Love, New Mexico DOT.
Andreas Lenin, NMDOT.
Valerie Sherman, proxy for Angela Roberson, Doña County Community Development Planning.
Sarah Gonzalez, City of Las Cruces.
Tammy Dion, EBID.
Daniel Sobrano, Doña County Engineering.
Richard Hanley, City of Las Cruces Transit.
Bertha Subiata, New Mexico State University.
Ben Serrano, Las Cruces Public Schools.
Okay, and there was a sign-in sheet. I don't know where it ended up, but did you guys get it all? Cool, awesome. Okay, so item number 2, approval of the agenda. Do we need to act on the discussion item, or we just gloss past?
We still need to approve we still need to go through the minutes and the approval of the agenda, Mr. Chair.
Got it. So any changes to the agenda? If not, looking for a motion?
No changes, Mr. Chair.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as written. Sarah Gonzalez, City of Las Cruces.
I second. Bertha Subiata.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Agenda is approved. Item number 3, approval of the minutes from February 5th. I don't have any changes that I noticed. Does anyone have any other comments? Not looking for a motion?
So move, Harold Love.
Second, Ben Serrano.
All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, minutes from February 5th are approved. Item number 4, public comment. Seeing no members of the public here, we'll move past that to item number 5, discussion items, road safety audit presentation.
Unfortunately, Mr. Chair, Mr. Coffey from NMDOT has not joined the line, so we will have to. Yes, Mr. Lenon.
I just got a message from Mr. Coffey. He is in the waiting room, waiting to be let in.
Okay, Billy, can you?
He says I'm on the meeting on WebEx, but it says the meeting will start when the host joins.
So we must be having technical difficulties on our end. Thank you very much, Mr. Lenon, for that. We'll bear with the IT staff.
Hello.
Okay, Mr. Chair, we have Mr. Coffey. So, Mr. Jason Coffey from NMDOT, the state HSIP manager.
Hello, thank you. Sorry there. I don't know what was happening. I appeared to be in the meeting, but clearly something was not working. Let me share my screen here so I can show a presentation. Yeah. I just have to get this going here. Sorry, there's something going on here. I need to. My apologies here. Okay. I hope you can see my slides.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. I don't do a lot of WebEx meetings, and it's a little different interface. It doesn't give me a lot of feedback to know if it's working. But thanks for inviting me to your meeting this afternoon. Again, I'm Jason Coffey, the Highway Safety Improvement Program Manager with the New Mexico Department of Transportation. And I'm going to talk this afternoon about our road safety audit program and sort of start with just a brief overview of road safety audits in general. So this is probably a review for most of you, but there is some important bits here that I want to focus in on. So FHWA, the Federal Highway Administration, has a lot of documentation regarding road safety audits, how to conduct them, what they are. You can see this sort of grayed out text here, and the first bullet on this slide is just the first sentence from the FHWA's website for road safety audits, and it's a formal safety performance examination of existing or future road or intersection by an independent multidisciplinary team. And I think that's the piece that I want to key in on here is the independent multidisciplinary team. So really any transportation professionals can perform road safety audits. It's not something that the NMDOT has a monopoly over. And so that's something to keep in mind as you think about what your options are for any locations that you as a MPO technical advisory committee might deem worthy of a road safety audit. They can be done by other groups, not just the NMDOT, and you can follow the Federal Highway Administration process as documented on their websites, and there's a lot of documentation. So that piece that is important there is independent. So on following the FHWA process, the roadway owner is not included in the road safety audit review. It's more like what I think of as a financial audit, where independent folks would look at your finances and give you recommendations and audit findings. And so that's kind of the audit word is obviously in there, and that's the approach that the FHWA is using when they think of their process. For the NMDOT Highway Safety Improvement Program, for the road safety audits that we do through our program, we do include the roadway owner. And so this is a place where our process diverges from the FHWA process. And it may not seem like a major difference, but there are some sort of knock-on effects from that I'll discuss a little bit here in a couple more slides. But so we do include the roadway owner, and that is one way that our process differs. And we also have a road safety audit guidebook that is specific to the New Mexico DOT Highway Safety Improvement Program. And that guidebook outlines the steps and sort of format that we look for in road safety audits. So for instance, if you were to do an independent road safety audit organized by the MPO, and you wanted to make sure that you were going to then use that RSA findings to apply for Highway Safety Improvement Program funds, it would be a good idea to use our guidebook and the templates to help guide your process. But the guidebook is there because, again, back to that first point, that really any transportation experts, subject matter experts, can conduct a road safety audit. So any tribal or local public agency can utilize the NMDOT HSIP RSA guidebook for that process. So I'm just going to start with all that. So how do we, for the Highway Safety Improvement Program within NMDOT, how do we administer our process? So we have an on-call contract that we utilize for the road safety audits that are approved by the Highway Safety Committee. I'm stuck on the word highway here. The NMDOT Safety Committee, and you can see the little graphic at the bottom of this slide. So the Safety Committee meets on a quarterly basis and approves all applications for HSIP funding or for road safety audits. So we have a review period or sort of a review process prior to submitting to the Safety Committee. I'll just note that if you apply for a road safety audit through the NMDOT HSIP, we use that on-call contract that we've already funded to do the RSA, and there's no additional procurement needed to get the RSA services. So that's a little bit there about how we are administering the RSAs through our program. There are some considerations here. Our capacity is limited. We only do a few RSAs per year through our process. So that's just something to keep in mind. And the reason we include the roadway owner in our process is that most of the time we are conducting road safety audits on NMDOT owned roads. So so that independent part of it is sort of already missing because I work for the DOT and I'm not going to audit myself. So we're approaching it from a slightly different perspective because generally we're doing our road safety audits on our roads. And this is important because if the roads you're thinking of in your MPO area for road safety audits, if it's an intersection and it involves an NMDOT owned road, we're going to want concurrence from the district that they're in agreement to do the RSA. And I'll talk in a slide or two here about why that's important to us. But again, generally we're doing these on our roads. And if the road in question or an intersection and a road that's one of the legs of the intersection is a DOT road, we'll want district concurrence. And again, back to that process, the first screening in any application for a road safety audit comes through the staff, myself or my staff person. And that's just to make sure that we have alignment with our goals for the program and that the area that you're considering or interested in investigating further fits the criteria that we're looking for. Because one thing that we often look for is if you know what the solution to the problem is, you might not need a road safety audit. And we might encourage you to apply for design and construction funding to do a project to implement the changes you think are necessary. So we use the road safety audits when we're not exactly certain what the solution is for a given corridor or intersection. So those are things to keep in mind, and that's one of the reasons we request a contact to staff for the sort of initial screening before we would even get to that stage of having you submit an application to the safety committee. And I will note that you might have seen on the previous slide, the safety committee's next meeting is in April, and I believe it's the third week in April. So there would be an opportunity to put together an application for that meeting if everything lines up and the staff screening and all that leads to the application process. Okay, so we really are focused on project implementation. And this is, again, back to why we include the roadway owner in our process. Our RSA process is designed to create a pipeline of projects to use Highway Safety Improvement Program funds so we can help meet our obligation targets for the funding type. So we really want whatever project recommendations are identified in the RSA to move into a project development phase. So unlike the FHWA process where you can do a road safety audit, not include the roadway owner, you could come up with a bunch of recommendations, present those to the roadway owner, and the roadway owner might say, thank you very much for the information. When we have available funding, we'll look into developing this project further, and it can go no farther than that. And so that has value in the planning process and sort of advocating for changes that stakeholders think are necessary, but it doesn't directly lead to a project. And that is really what we are focused on. So that is why our process is a little different than the FHWA process. And one thing I want to note, the second bullet on this slide, one option is to apply for funding through the Highway Safety Improvement Program to then procure consulting engineer services to have road safety audits done. So that is something to consider too. If you have multiple locations you might be interested in within the whole MPO planning area, maybe it's better to apply for funding and then have a lead agency do procurement, get consulting engineers on board, and do road safety audits, in the locations you deem appropriate, and you don't have to specifically follow the NMDOT HSIP RSA process. Okay, and if you do that though, if you're going to apply for funding, do the procurement yourself, manage the project, and get the RSA results, it's a good idea to follow our RSA guidebook so that the results of your RSA are structured in a way that will set you up for an application for HSIP funding for implementation of the projects. So we recommend that. And again, I'll just reiterate that it's not just the NMDOT Highway Safety Improvement Program that can conduct road safety audits. We have the program in place to do so. We have an on-call contract already established to perform the RSAs. So there are some streamlining of the procurement and delivery processes through that, and that can be of benefit. So if you think of a location in the MPO area that is a good candidate for a road safety audit, again, the first step is to reach out to myself or to the HSIP staff. And just one last piece here. We generally, through the safety committee, like to consider RSAs as having a 5-year shelf life. So if you conduct RSAs in the MPO area outside of the HSIP program process, and 5 years have passed, and you come to the safety committee with a project for design and construction funding, and your basis for that project is a road safety audit. If it is more than 5 years old, we will probably request that you update some of the data analysis there. So that's a little snapshot of how we run our RSA process and what some of the options are in general for RSAs. And here is the contact information. Andrew, of course, knows how to get in touch with us. So I am now available to stand for any questions.
Mr. Chair, before we have questions from the committee, I just want to provide a little bit more local context as to why we're asked Mr. Coffey to come and present to us today. We are, in fact, targeting submitting a grant to NMDOT for HSIP monies within this calendar year. We have initiated a process with our BPAC to start identifying a potential location. We are just looking for one location in respect to DOT's limitations on the number that they do per year. We're not going to be ready by April. Unfortunately, I can guarantee that, but we are attempting to get it done before the end of this year, and we will be starting that same more detailed identification conversation here with the TAC just within the next, over the course of the next few months. So that's kind of the background context of why we wanted to have this presentation today.
Is that a new process? Like, you haven't done that before?
It's not a new process per se within MDOT. It's been their process for the past several years. We have not had an RSA done within the Mesilla Valley MPO area since, I believe, 2014. So it is something that's been, I guess, that makes it 12 years since we've had an RSA in our area. That was one of the things following on from last year's annual safety report and some of the concerns that were expressed by the governing board surrounding the data that we presented in that. This is one of the treatments that MPO staff has at our disposal to at least take some action here on the MPO level to start doing some things to address some of those issues that we saw. So that was the genesis point for this particular process, but we've not done one in our area in a long time, but this process overall is not that new for NMDOT.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Mr. Coffey. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, thank you very much for the opportunity. And if any questions come up, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we will move on to item number 6, committee and staff comments, City of Las Cruces.
Sarah Gonzalez, no updates at this time.
Doña County.
We hired a engineering supervisor. He should be on board the 16th, and so he'll probably start attending the meetings. Probably attend the first couple with him, also till he feels. His name is Victor Morales. He is from the city of El Paso. So he should be here at the next meeting.
This is Valerie Sherman with the county. In mid-February, Community Development, Advanced Planning, and Codes teams, in partnership with Las Cruces Public Schools Safe Routes to School program and the Doña Village Association, hosted the grand opening of the Elks Drive multi-use trail. And despite it being very cold and rainy that day, it was a great success. There were just a tad over 100 citizens that attended the event to participate in activities along the trail. And we are now starting the design process of phase 4 of the Elks multi-use trail. That's it.
Northtown and Mesilla Public Schools.
No updates at this time.
Roadrunner.
No updates.
NOAA South Central. DOT.
A couple of project updates. New Mexico 101, University Avenue ADA and sidewalk installation. The contractor will continue to remove and replace sidewalks, ADA ramps, and driveways along University Avenue from Main Street to College. There will be lane closures, both eastbound and westbound, with reduced speeds. The project is expected to be completed by mid-March. New Mexico 101, University Avenue Multimodal Project, Mesilla. The contractor will continue to work on this project from University Avenue on University Avenue from Avenue de Mesilla to South Main. One lane of eastbound traffic will be open on University Avenue between Avenue de Mesilla and South Main, and traffic heading westbound will be detoured to West Union. The project is expected to be completed by the fall of 2026. And that's all I have.
MPO staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have 2 items for the committee this evening. First one is I just want to remind everyone that we do have an active TPF call for projects currently ongoing. The project feasibility form is due to MPO staff by March 30th, and the PFF meeting between applying jurisdictions and NMDOT is scheduled for March 31st. So please do keep those dates in mind. We've already had some people vocalize that they do intend to submit applications. So
Mr. Ray,
that's good.
it's March 20th, not March 30th for the.
Thank you. Did I say, yes, it's March 20th. If I said 30th, that was an error. It's March 20th, and then the PFF meeting is March 31st. Then the second one is I am very pleased after many months of work on this to inform the TAC that the executive committee has finished their work on the bylaws. So we are finally ready to bring them out for public discussion. The first presentation about the new bylaws is going to be at next week's governing board meeting. Due to some timeline oddities, probably will not be bringing it as a discussion item to TAC until the May meeting, but our anticipation is we will bring it as a discussion item at the May meeting, and then we'll be asking TAC's recommendation at the June meeting. We are targeting the June meeting of the governing board for adoption of the new bylaws. So it's been a bit longer than I had hoped that it would be, but we are finally entering the home stretch on those. Just minor preview. There's basically only 2 substantive changes that impact TAC in the draft proposal, and I don't think that either one of them are anything that's going to cause anybody any alarm, but we'll wait for any further updates. People can show up to the meeting next week, but we are getting close to the end there on the bylaws.
Will those be available to review prior
They're-
to it showing up in the packet?
They'll be going up on the MPO website as part of the governing board packet tomorrow. We don't distribute the packet to the entirety of our mailing list because we got in trouble with the city of Las Cruces a number of years ago when we were sending out too many mass mailings and got told no. So we have to kind of, as we do for the TAC, we only send the packets to the members, but the packet will be available on the MPO website as of tomorrow, and the draft of the bylaws will be in there. So they will be available very, very soon.
Thank you.
And those are my only 2 updates for today, Mr. Chair.
Okay, item number 7, still seeing no public comment. We'll move to item number 8, adjournment. Looking for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good evening, everybody.